recall, class, that when we say alkenes, ito yung organic molecule which has the functional group na carbon to carbon double bond. Again, basta alkenes ending in -ines, okay? Yung functional group niya is carbon to carbon single bond. Okay? Now, as you all observed, okay, because of the double bond present, yung alkene, okay, will now have fewer hydrogen, okay, compare sa alkane, okay, with the same number of carbon. Kasi if you try to recall the general formula ng mga straight chain alkane, ano yung general formula ng straight chain alkane? Di ba? CN H2N plus 2. Okay? Whereas, for alkenes, dahil sa presence ng double bond, okay? Dahil sa presence ng double bond, it will now have fewer hydrogen, particularly -2 hydrogen. Kasi 'di ba, ang isang bond is equivalent to 2 bonding electrons. Okay? Therefore, upon adding, okay, another bond, okay, that is equivalent to removing as well ng dalawang hydrogen. That is why ang general formula ngayon ng alkenes is only CN then H2N. Okay? So, lesser yung hydrogen ng alkenes compared to alkanes. Okay? Now, with that being said, because also of the presence of double bond, multiple bond, we can say that alkenes is considered saturated. I mean unsaturated. Okay? It is considered unsaturated. Sa part 2 ng discussion, I have mentioned how to identify a hydrocarbon. Again, among hydrocarbon, rani siya ha? Molecule which only contains carbon and hydrogen. You can identify if a hydrocarbon is saturated or unsaturated based on the presence of multiple bonds or absence of multiple bonds. Kapag puro single bonds lang yung makikita nyo sa molecule ng hydrocarbon, that is saturated. Okay, that molecule is said to be saturated. Kapag naman yung hydrocarbon molecule contains already multiple bonds, may it be double bond or triple bond, that is already unsaturated. Okay? Now, proceed tayo sa naming. Okay? Take note, generally, in naming alkenes, similar series of rules lang po will be used, okay, to those how you name alkenes. Okay? So, similar rules yung i-a-apply natin. Only that, naalay konting modification specifically with the suffix. Okay? Kasi 'di ba, naalala sa general names ng mga organic molecule, yung last portion is a suffix, and the suffix will help us identify what functional group is present on that molecule. Okay? So kapag ending in -ane, that is alkane. So this time, meron ng konting modification, specifically on the suffix and some other parts ng naming. So this time, hindi na -ane. We will now use the suffix -in. So ganun pa rin, yung step 1 is find the parent chain. Ulit, ano yung characteristic ng parent chain? It is the longest, the continuous chain of carbon atom. But this time, we are talking about alkenes man. Take note, sorry, dapat yung longest chain of carbon must be or must contain the double bond. Okay? Dapat, the moment na hinanap nyo yung longest carbon chain, andoon, okay, incorporated doon, inclusive doon yung double bond. Okay, sa longest chain. Hindi lang sanga yung double bond. Dapat nasa loob siya ng longest carbon chain. And then, after you find the parent chain, let's say, for example, the longest carbon chain which contains a double bond is a 5 carbon chain. Then, supposedly, di ba kapag alkane, that is walang E. Pentane. Okay, kapag 5. Okay. Now, since it already contains a double bond, change, okay, the suffix ane into in. Okay, that becomes pentene. Okay. Again, i-change mo lang yung ane into in. That will be the parent. Again, step 1 pa tayo. The parent one. Okay, finding the parent chain. Okay, for alkenes. So, halimbawa. Okay, halimbawa, I'll draw this structure. Tell me how many carbons, okay, present in the longest carbon chain. Okay, i-type in nyo lang yung sagot kung 6 ba, kung 7 ba, kung 8 or 4 ba. Tell me ilan yung carbon present on the longest carbon chain for this molecule of alkene. Okay, very good. Okay, there are 5. Okay, 5. Again carbon chain. So you can start here, itong carbon na to, kasi this is a terminal carbon, knowing na yung nakabind sa kanya directly, okay, are hydrogens. Ibig sabihin that is a terminal carbon. Another terminal carbon is this one, okay, ACH3. Another terminal carbon is this carbon. So, hanapin niyo yung longest. Sabi niyo 5. So, you mean this chain of carbon. That would be the longest carbon chain containing the double bond. That is correct. Okay? So, kung yung sagot nyo is itong naka-highlight na color green, mali po to. Okay? Kung i-compare mo, 6, di ba? 6 yung carbon na nasa loob ng kulay green. Okay, bilangin nyo, di ba? 6 yan. Compare sa sinagot nyo, 5 lang. Pero again, sabi sa step 1, dapat yung longest chain, okay, for alkene is the one containing the double bond. Now, kung pipiliin nyo yung kulay green, wala dyan yung double bond. Puro single bond lang yan. Okay? 'Di ba? Wala sa loob ng kulay green yung double bond. Andito yung double bond. Nasa labas lang niya. Okay? So, yung sagot dito is pentene. Okay? Pentene, yan yung parent. Okay? Pentene. Hindi po ito hexene. Okay? Hindi ito hexene, kundi pentene. 5 yung bilang ng carbon for its longest carbon chain containing the double bond. Okay? Okay, next tayo. Next step. Another example. Ito. Erase ko ha. Okay, this is another example. Ayan, another example. So, obvious naman, ito yung longest carbon chain containing the double bond. So, pentene. Okay, another, we have, ayan, yan yung longest carbon chain, which is also pentene. Okay, don't forget per corner are carbon. So, you have carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and lastly, ito, erase ko muna. Ayan. Okay, so, take note yung longest carbon chain containing the double bond dapat. So, ito yun. Pwedeng to the right ka or yung pababa. Okay? So, pwedeng ito or yung sa kabila. That is the same number of carbon which contains the double bond. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pentene din. Okay? So make sure step 1 pa lang in finding the parent chain for alkenes, andoon no, sa loob ng parent chain yung double bond. So okay na tayo sa step 1. Okay, the same rule sa alkanes. After we find the parent, okay, na-encircle na natin yung parent number. Number the carbon atoms in that parent chain. Now this time, where do we begin? Kung naaalala nyo sa alkanes, we begin at the end kung saan malapit yung branch point. Now this time, ito yung medyo nice slight changes, okay? Now, kapag alkenes and any other molecules, no, higher functional groups, take note since ang alkene higher functional group siya compared to alkanes, this time you begin numbering at the end where the nearest double bond is located. Okay? So, compare mo sa both ends, saan doon malapit yung double bond. Again ha, okay? Malapit ang double bond, hindi yung branching point. Hindi yan yung priority natin this time kapag meron ng presence ng functional group. Okay? So take note. Take note of step 2. Ito yung changes ngayon for the rest of the molecules na merong higher functional group. So you start with alkenes hanggang alkynes and so forth. When we number the carbon atoms in that parent chain, this time we begin at the end kung saan malapit yung functional group. Ano yung functional group ng alkenes? Diba? That is double bond. Okay? So, ayaw mo pailad sa branch points. Kung alkenes. Okay? Kung alkenes. Okay? And then, take note, after you number, okay, the carbon atoms, we then assign location sa double bond. Okay? So this time, mag-a-assign, magbibigay din tayo ng position locant. Okay? Indicating the position of the double bond. Kung saang carbon siya ba? Present. Okay? Sige, halimbawa, di ba kanina ito yung parent. So when we begin numbering, saan malapit itong double bond? Okay? So you number, this will be carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Kasi pagdating sa carbon 2, present na agad yung double bond. Okay? Now, how do we assign location, okay, or position ng double bond? Okay, listen. Yung unang carbon that carries the double bond, okay? Yung unang carbon that carries the double bond, yan yung magiging position ng double bond. Okay? Therefore, upon writing the parent, di ba sabi natin kanina na slide, this is pentene. When you write the parent, dapat may location siya. Specifically, itong double bond, may location siya. Saang carbon? Carbon 2 ng parent. That is why the parent would be 2-pentene. Again, itong 2 dito, this is the location of the double bond of the functional group. Not yet the branching points. Okay? So yun yung medyo may modification sa alkanes. Okay? But if you try to compare, almost the same similar rules. Yung sa alkanes nga lang, wala naman siyang priority nga functional group, di ba, kapag alkanes, kasi puros carbon to carbon single bond. That is why we proceed directly on the branching points as the priority kapag alkanes. But this time, alkenes is already a higher functional group. It already contains a carbon to carbon double bond functional group. So, kailangan natin i-priority yung functional group. Doon tayo magsisimula, mag-number, okay, at the end kung saan malapit yung double bond. At the same time, we have to assign a position to that double bond. That is why yung parent, okay, complete parent would be 2-pentene. Okay? Then, yung step 3, proceed. Okay? Ano yung basic steps in naming alkanes? Diba sa step 3, we identify the substituents with their locations. Okay? So, the same similar rules lang yun. Okay? So, when we identify the substituent mula sa 2-pentene, kung ililista natin yung mga substituents, at carbon 2 merong methyl. So carbon 2 merong methyl. Yun lang yung substituent for this molecule of alkene. That is why when you write now the name, the whole name of the molecule, okay, in this given slide, dapat yung name niya would be 2-methyl-2-pentene. 2-methyl, okay, that is the branch, that is the substituent, and then the parent, 2-pentene. Okay? So the same lang, yung parent, I mean the name of the molecule, single word. Okay? Single word. Okay? Para maging single word, don't forget to use hyphen. Okay? Hyphen to separate number from a word. Then, kapag number to number, comma. Okay? Kapag number to number, comma, the same lang gihapon nga technicalities ang ato ang gamiton. Una natin i-cite. Una natin i-cite yung substituent bago yung parent. Sige, another example. Ayan, yung kanina, na-identify naman natin yung parent, di ba? Ito yung parent. Or parehas lang kapag pababa kayo. Okay? Kung ito yung parent nyo, okay? That is the same. Okay? So again, pentene pa rin to, but particularly, this is, tell me, what is the location of the double bond? I-type in nyo lang. It is okay, very good. It is carbon 1. Okay? So this would be carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, 4, and 5. Okay? So yung unang carbon carrying the double bond, yan yung magiging location ng double bond. So yung parent is 1-pentene. Okay? Then identify. Step 3, identify the substituents. Bigyan mo ng location. Sa carbon 2, merong methyl. Sa carbon 3, take note, this is an ethyl. Kasi 2 carbon chain yan. Carbon, another carbon, CH2, CH3 yan, and that is ethyl. Sino yung mauuna? 3-ethyl or 2-methyl? You type in your answer. Okay, very good. So upon citing the whole name, this will become, ayan, 3-ethyl, then dash 2-methyl, okay, and 1-pentene. Okay, this would be the systematic or IUPAC name for this given molecule. Yeah, another example. Okay, for this example, okay, ayaw mo ka-confuse ha. Yung longest chain should contain only carbon. Okay, carbon lang po yung parent chain. Therefore, yung terminal carbon dito is ito. Tama? Kasi this is bromine. So kung saan siya naka-attach, ito yung terminal carbon dito na part. Okay? So obviously the parent chain would be, diretso na ako sa parent ha, longest, containing the double bond. Yan yung pinaka-longest, no, na parent chain containing the double bond. Ilan yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this would be heptene. Okay, asaan yung double bond? Nasa carbon. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. Heptene is present in carbon 3. I mean, the double bond in heptene is present in carbon 3. Okay? Then, identify the substituents. Step 3 agad. Identify the substituents. You have substituent at carbon 1. Okay, di ba? We treat, by the way, siguro yung block B and C, hindi pa sila familiar na pwedeng merong substituent na halogen. Okay, if you encounter halogens na bromine, chlorine, iodine, fluorine, this will be treated as alkyl groups. And yung name nila as alkyl group will become fluoro, bromo, chloro, iodo. And then since they are treated as alkyl group, they will follow alphabetical order then. No, alphabetical order then. So, bromo yung una upon citing the name, followed by chloro. And by the way, this is isopropyl. Okay? Block B and C, you really have to access part 2. Okay? Because there is a simplest way on naming branched alkyl groups, in which I have introduced this sa functional group nga lecture ko. Okay? You all access already functional group, di ba nga lecture? I have introduced to you the different branched alkyl groups, the isopropyl, the isobutyl, neopentyl, and so forth. Okay? Those are the common nga branch alkyl groups. And yung common name ng branch alkyl group na to is isopropyl. Okay? But we have a systematic way of naming these branched alkyl groups. That's why you really have to access part 2 of the nomenclature ng branched chain alkanes. Okay, which I already posted it last day. That was Tuesday, I think. Okay, so jump lang sa mo ana nga kon unsaon. Basta you know already this is isopropyl, yung common name. Okay? Then this is chloro, bromo. So may mga location na sila. So una, we have 1 bromo dash 3 chloro dash 4 isopropyl then 3 heptene. So ito yung magiging name niya. Alphabetical. Una yung letter B, C, then followed yung letter I. Kasi isopropyl. Letter I. Okay, part yung prefix na iso sa name ng isopropyl. Okay, so this would be the name of these molecules presented. Okay, ngayon, I want you to know this, no? Although dili na ako mo ipa-practice on the new naming system of these molecules. Actually, yung IUPAC, the IUPAC changed the naming recommendations for those molecules that requires a locant for the double bond or other functional group. Okay. However, yung change na yun that was proposed by the IUPAC, it has not been widely accepted by the chemical community. So, I will suggest, okay, na we will stay on this older way of naming. Okay? Kasi ito yung more commonly used names. But if you try to search for other references in naming alkenes and other functional groups na kailangan i-locate yung functional group. Okay? Example, kailangan i-locate yung double bond. Kailangan bigyan ng location yung alcohol, yung ketone, okay, etc. Okay? I want you to be informed as well sa bagong system of naming. Okay? Kasi occasionally, you might encounter this newer system in naming higher molecules ng organic compounds. So, ano yung slight changes? Again ha, it has something to do lang po sa location ng functional group. Itong location ng functional group. Yung pwesto, saan yung position, okay, inciting the location of the functional group. Yan lang po yung changes na propose ng IUPAC. Okay? Specifically, okay, yung location ngayon, sa newer system ha, yung location ngayon ng double bond here is bago yung suffix na in. Okay? So instead of 2-pentene, when you write the parent, it will become pent, pent. Copy mo yung pent. Then how do you separate gani? Number from word? Hyphen. So this is a number, the location of the double bond. That is how to cite daw po the complete parent name, okay? Having the location of the functional group for the newer system. Again, I'm talking about the newer system. Ha, kay maka-encounter mo ani kung I know some of you very curious. Kulang pag yun nga discussion ma, mag-search pa mig other nga references. It's okay. That's why I am introducing this to you para ma-aware mo nga na ay newer system in naming alkenes and other higher functional groups, specifically in locating the presence ng functional group. So ano lang, yan lang yung changes. Itong to written before the suffix in. Okay? That is why ang nasa notes nyo, di ba? Ang magiging new name niya would be 2-methyl. Okay, 2-methyl pent 2-in. Wala tayong gi-erase, no? Wala tayong gi-erase, gi-add nga letter, word, or number. We only change the position, no? Upon writing the locant of the double bond. Okay? Ganun pa rin naman. Ito pa rin may dash. Yung ano lang, saan siya gi-add ba. So, sa new system, it is written before the suffix in. Okay? The same with the second molecule, magiging pent 1-in na to. Pent 1-in. Yan lang yung new system, di ba? Mura siya awkward. That is why dili siya widely accepted yun sa chemical community. And sa atong exam, klaruhon na nako daan ha, sa exams nato, sa quizzes nato, modular exam, when it comes to naming any item nga ga-include og naming, ga-require sa inyo nga i-name ni nga molecule, you use the older way of naming. Okay? Kung saan, itong location ng functional group is written before the parent name, not before the suffix. Okay? Then, for the last molecule, ito, hep3-in. Yun lang po yung new system, yung changes sa new system that was proposed by the IUPAC. Okay, so ako lang siyang gi-introduce para aware mo kay basing masuko mo ba nga. Dahil lagi itong gi-discuss ni ma'am. Okay, yun yung new system. Okay, but again, I will encourage everyone to use the older one kasi yan yung most commonly used. Okay, and actually, if you know how to write the older name, ano lang, common sense lang dayon if merong number before the suffix, then ibig sabihin yan yung location ng functional group. Yes, parehas lang. Diba? Parehas lang yung concept. But again ha, please use the older way of naming. Sige. This time, so yun yung how to name alkenes. Now let us have other cases. Okay, these are other cases. Kasi hindi naman most of the time, hindi always nga, isa lang yung double bond present sa alkene. Diba? Pwedeng dalawa, yung double bond, pwedeng tatlo, apat, and so forth. Okay? Now, if more than one double bond is present in alkene, take note. If more than one, so merong dalawa or tatlong double bond present in the molecule of alkene, still, assign location for each double bonds. Kung nag-assign tayo sa isang double bond lang sa molecule, we still have to assign kung marami na, no? So kung more, samot nga mag-assign yun asa kaha ang location ato nga mga double bond in that molecule. And then, since dalawa, tatlo, apat na yung double bond, we have to use multiplier prefixes. Ano yung example ng multiplier prefixes? We have di, tri, which is being added before the suffix in. So ibig sabihin, kapag dalawa, you have a di-in na prefix. Kapag tatlo, you have a tri-in na prefix. Kapag apat, you have tetra-in. So make sure kapag sinulat nyo di-in, dalawa din yung number. Okay? Which which indicates the location of that double bond. Kapag try, dapat naagi tulo ka location for that position of the double bond. Okay, the same kapag apat. Now, ito yung ruling natin. Okay, take note. When you use a multiplier prefix, okay, added to a suffix in, halimbawa, die in, okay? As you will observe, lahat ng multiplier prefixes, lahat ng multiplier prefixes, they start with consonant. Diba? Di, tri, tetra, hepta, all consonant letter. Diba? Letter D, letter T, consonant. Kailan man tag-consonant, no? Consonant is kanang B, C, D, yan. Kapag vowel, A, I, O, U. Okay? So, puros mga consonant. Now, ngayon, syempre, ang suffix, di ba, it is being added to a root word. Okay? Hindi pa to name. Suffix pa lang ni siya. When we talk about suffix, it is being added to the root word. Okay? Meron siyang preceding word. Preceding. Meron siyang na siya'y word sa unahan niya. So, yan yung suffix. Okay? Now, you have to take note this, nga kung mag-search mo sa English grammar usage, kung mag-add daw po ng suffix sa root word, dapat yung root word, okay, dapat yung root word has a combining vowel. Okay? Ibig sabihin, bago itong consonant, which is the beginning of the letter of the suffix, dapat yung nasa unahan niya is a vowel. Ano example ng vowel? A, I, I, O, U. Okay? Diba? Halimbawa, yung root name natin ng parent is hept. Diba? Hept, hex. Diba? Ito yung mga root name natin. Oct, pent. Okay? Walang vowel. Okay? Ending. Pero saan ba galing yung pent, hept, hex, oct? Diba? They come from the Greek words penta, hepta, hexa, octa. That is why prior to adding these suffixes, you have to add first the combining vowel. This is based on the rule sa English grammar ni siya. Okay? Hepta, hexa, octa. Bago yung suffix na in with a multiplier prefix. Okay? So, example, we have a pentadiein, hexadiein, heptadiein, hexadiein, octadiein. So, yan yung magiging initial parent niya. Take note, wala pa yung location. Asan yung dalawang double bond. Okay? I am telling pa how to add the suffix this time. The suffix nga merong multiplier prefix. Take note ha, huwag kalimutan, dapat merong combining vowel preceding that suffix. Kapag sinabing preceding, sa unahan niya ba? Precede, sa unahan niya. Okay? So, i-add nyo lang yung letter A sa lahat ng root parent name. Okay? So, halimbawa, okay, for this example, this is just a simple alkene, walang branch. Okay, so it has how many carbon? How many carbon sa parent? 4, 5, 6. This is hexene. Okay, hexene muna. Hexene siya kasi 6. Pero when you find out the double bond, merong double bond sa carbon 2. Again yung unang carbon carrying the double bond. Yan yung magiging location niya. Merong ding double bond sa carbon 4. So, this would be applied. Okay? Itong condition na to. Okay? So, instead of hexene, we will now use a die-in suffix. Okay? Then, you simply add that die-in to the root name ng parent, which is hex. Pero again, because the suffix starts with a consonant according to English grammar usage when we use suffixes, Okay? Dapat it is preceded by a vowel. That is why the parent, initial parent is hexa, parent name is hexadiene. Asaan yung dalawang double bond? Nasa carbon 2, comma, and carbon 4, dash. What separates number to number, comma? What separates word to number, hyphen? So, ito yung complete parent name. And since wala ng branches or substituents in this molecule, ito yung magiging final name niya. 2,4-hexadiene. Okay? Wala pa itong branches ha, wala pa itong substituent. Sige, let's try kapag meron na. Meron ng branches. The same lang gihapon. Identify the branches, may location, then itong parent. Okay? Or this is the new way of naming. So nasabta na nato ha, unsay meaning aning 2,4 ang suffix. Yan yung location lang po ng double bond. 'Di ba? Sabi ko kanina yung new system in naming or locating the position of the double bond is bago. Sinusulat siya bago ang suffix. Since ang suffix natin is die-in. Okay? Die-in kasi dalawa yung double bond. So, bago yung die-in, 2,4. But again ha, ayaw lang ninyo i-heart-to-heart ang new system. Okay? Kaya kasi maglibog na mo. Okay? If you understand the older way of naming, okay, that's the time maka-understand mo aning new system of naming. Okay. Okay, let's have this one. So, obviously, the parent is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, ito yung straight chain lang. Ayaw ninyo i-lisod-lisod nga musaka pa ka. It's the same lang gihapon. Kung gusto ka, kani, ang part sa parent, it's the same gihapon. No? 5 carbon chain lang gihapon ang present sa parent. No? So, we have carbon 1, carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, dapat supposedly pentene. Okay? Pentene. Okay? Now, since dalawa, magiging penta-diene na yan. Okay? So, penta-diene. Asan yung dalawang double bond? Nasa carbon 1. Okay? Nasa carbon 1, tsaka nasa carbon 3. Please don't forget the location of the double bond or any functional group in a parent chain is yung mismong carbon carrying, okay, the first double bond. Okay? Carrying the yung carbon carrying the first double bond, yan yung magiging location niya. So carbon 1, comma, and carbon 3. Penta-diene. Ayan. So what would be the name? Okay, whole name niya. We have, take note, na pay branch. Na branch sa carbon 4 na ay substituent also sa carbon 3. These are methyl. Dalawang methyl, so di-methyl. Asan yung dalawang methyl? Nasa carbon 3 and 4. That is why that becomes 3,4 dimethyl and yung parent 1,3 pentadiene. Ulitin ko ha, yung dalawang double bond, ito nasa carbon 1 and carbon 3. That is why 1,3. Yung dalawang methyl na substituent present in carbon 3, ito yon, and also present in carbon 4. Ayan. Sige. And the new naming system. So, may notes naman kayo. Okay, let's have the following names. Okay? Sige. Okay, let's start with molecule 1. Ako na lang mag-name ha. Okay, so longest carbon chain containing the double bond. So, ito lang. Ayan, carbon lang ha. Please, wag nyong isali yung hydrogen sa longest carbon chain. C2H5, obviously, that is what alkyl group? C2, dalawang carbon. C2H5, that is?
Ethyl.
Very good. Ethyl. Okay? So, start numbering. So, you start here, 1, 2, kasi mas malapit dito yung double bond. Begin numbering kung saan malapit yung double bond. 3, 4, 5, 6. Ayan. So, the name would be for ethyl. Isa lang yung branch. And then, location of the double bond to hexene. Okay? For ethyl, may ethyl sa carbon 4. Location of double bond is at carbon 2, then hexene as the parent. Okay na tayo sa sa molecule 1. Next. Molecule number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So ito, obvious naman yung parent. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I will name it directly immediately. So we have ethyl at carbon 4. So una yung ethyl. 4 ethyl. At carbon 3 and 5, merong methyl. So 3, 5, dimethyl. Asaan yung double bond? Nasa carbon 2. 2, ano yung parent? Heptene. Okay? Okay, next. Parent ulit. Take note, the parent should contain the double bond or double bonds. Okay? So the parent here will be this one. Okay? Dapat naka-enclose doon yung double bonds. Okay? Sige. Start tayo with the numbering. So, asa ta magsugod ani, ma'am? Okay? If ito yung carbon 1 natin, agad-agad may double bond. The same dito. Kapag ito yung carbon 1 natin, yung nasa taas, the same may double bond agad-agad. That's the time, proceed with the substituents. Okay? So, kapag yung location ng double bond, the same, equal yung distant, next priority agad. Ano yung next priority sa functional group? Yung substituents. Okay? Sige, proceed tayo sa substituents. If ito yung carbon 1, pagka carbon 2, merong methyl. Again, methyl starts with letter M. Okay. Kapag ito yung number 1, carbon 1, ito yung carbon 2, tell me, what is the substituent? You can type in your answer. Very good. It is ethyl. Okay? Now, given that case, obviously, meron tayong isa lang na possible name for this. Hindi pwedeng dalawa yung posibleng name, ma'am, kay equal man ang distance sa double bond, equal po ang distance sa substituent. Hindi po. Remember, after we find out the substituents, di ba alphabetical order? Naalala? Ayaw ginan nyo kalimti, alphabetical order yung substituents. Therefore, since the same yung posibleng magiging location ng dalawang substituent, first, mga substituents, proceed with the alphabetical order. Sino kaya dito yung priority ngayon? Siyempre, alphabetical order. Una yung ethyl kaysa sa methyl. So, ito yung magiging carbon 1, final. Carbon 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then, proceed with the name. Okay? So, we have 2 ethyl. Next, we have methyl. Ito, carbon 3 and 4. 3, 4, dimethyl. And then, location of double bonds. Nasa carbon 1 and nasa carbon 4. 1, 4. What is the parent? Penta, di, in. Ayaw gid ninyo kalimti ang multiplier prefix kapag dalawa na. Okay? Kapag 3 or 4, may multiplier prefix na sa mismong suffix na in. Okay? Sige. O, ito naman, parent. Obvious na yung parent. Okay, so if I will name this is 1, okay. Ito, another, ano po din siya, another case. 1, 2, may double bond na. If dito sa kabila, 1, 2, meron ding double bond. But if you compare the second carbon, okay, we have to priority this time, yung may double bond na, may substituent pa. Diba? So this would be carbon 1, final, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the name of this molecule is 2-bromo. Parent, I mean location of the double bond, 2, 4, tama ba? 2, 4. And then hexa, diene. Okay? So 2-bromo, then 2, 4, location yan ng double bond. Parent, hexa, diene. Okay, next. Sige, let's have this example. Obviously, tatlo na yung double bond. So, name ko agad ha. Block B and C. Again, this is isopropyl. Okay? Isopropyl yan. Yan yung common name niya. Pero again, you have to access the part 2 recorded lecture video kasi andun yung systematic way of naming this one. Merong mas madali na pag-name natin sa branched alkyl group. Sige. So this would be carbon 1. Kasi carbon 1, may double bond na agad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the parent, you can start with the parent. Okay? So yung parent, we have 1. Asan yung double bond? 1. Next is 3. Next is 5. 1, 3, 5. Hepta. And this time, try-in. Asan yung tatlong double bond? Nasa carbon 1, 3, and 5. Okay, proceed tayo sa substituent. Obviously, mauuna yung isopropyl. Asan yung isopropyl? Nasa carbon 4. Okay, so we have here 4 isopropyl. Location ng methyl, 3, 5, dimethyl. So, one word. No? One word. Ayan. Okay? So, 4 ulit. 4 isopropyl, 3, 5 dimethyl, 1, 3, 5 hepta, try-in. Okay, proceed with molecule number 6. The parent is... Please take note ha, ang parent chain, simula ka sa terminal carbon. Obviously, ang terminal carbon, it could be CH3, usually CH3. Okay? So, you can start here or this one, terminal. These are the terminal, 3 terminal carbons. So, you can have this carbon, then ito. Pwede, yan yung parent. Okay? So, obviously, isa lang yung branch. No? Ito lang yung branch. Hindi naman branch yung hydrogen. 'Di ba? Yung hydrogen, that cannot be an alkyl group. Remember, ang alkyl group, they are obtained from alkane. Removal of one hydrogen from alkane. So, hindi po ito alkyl group, yung hydrogen lang po. No? So, this is the alkyl group in the name of methyl. So, the name would be 2, tama? 2-methyl. You have 2-methyl, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Nasa carbon 2 yung double bond, hexene. Kaya na lang. 2-methyl, then 2-hexene. And lastly, for molecule number 7, ayan. You have here a simple alkene, walang substituent, 'di ba? Purely ano lang siya, straight chain alkene. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can have pentene here. Okay? Kasi kapag simplest one, pentene, hexene, octene, kapag walang location, ibig sabihin nasa carbon 1 yung double bond. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng simplest or simple alkenes. Simple alkenes, kapag walang nakasulat na location, ibig sabihin, nasa carbon 1 yung double bond. So this is carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can locate. It's okay. You can locate the double bond kapag nasa carbon 1. Pero usually kapag nasa carbon 1, no, ang double bond, hindi siya usually nilolocate. But I will encourage you para dili mo maglibog, i-locate ninyo gyud. Mapa number 1 siya, nasa sa number 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Okay? Sige, lastly, we have this molecule. Ayan. So, meron siyang substituent na chloro na nasa carbon 2. Okay? So, this will become 2-chloro. Ano lang, 2-chloro. Presence of double bond nasa carbon 1 and carbon 4. So, 1, 4, penta, diene. So, that is how to name alkenes. Alright?
Ma'am.
Oh, yes, Miss Babia.
Clarification lang, ma'am, no? So, mo dawat yapon kag answer katong instead of isopropyl is methyl ethyl.
Yes. Oo.
Okay.
The same lang. Oo. Ako lang kay wala lang na ako gi-introduce kay wala pa man naka-access good ang block B and block C. That is why I tell them earlier nga na ay simplest way of naming branched alkyl groups like isopropyl. So, nana sila. So, it is already your task, block B and C, to access part 2 of the lecture video. Okay? Mas mapadali inyong life kung mag-access mo ato sa video, maka-learn mo unsaon ang simplest way to name branched alkyl group. Di na ninyo kailangan mag-memorize og isopropyl, isobutyl ni siya, neopentyl ni siya, kay malibog man mo. Sige. Proceed ta na, apatay 2 minutes. I will proceed directly to the conversion para mahuman gid ta kasi until drawing of alkenes man ta. Okay, so drawing of alkenes or converting a chemical name, di ba? This time, chemical name ang given, ang pangalan ng organic molecule na alkene ang given. This time, you have to provide the structure. Ito yung mas madali. If you know already how to name, pabaliktad lang. We start now with the parent. Okay? We look on the parent chain. Okay? So say for example, the parent, di ba, is hexadiene. Kapag hex, ang carbon, di ba, is 6. So you draw a carbon skeleton 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yan yung unang step in converting a name into a structure. This is a condensed structure, no? So, tapos na tayo sa hex. Proceed with the double bond. Asaan yung double bond sa parent chain? Na daw sa carbon 1. So, ito yung carbon 1. Double bond. Lagay ka ng double bond. And then, carbon 5. Okay? So, ana lang. So, naanatay 1,5 hexadiene. Yan yung parent. Next, locate kung asaan yung methyl. Asaan yung methyl? Nasa carbon 2. If ito yung carbon 1, obviously, yung kasunod, ito yung carbon 2, lagay ka ng methyl, CH3. After you indicate the double bond, after you locate the substituent, proceed with the adding of hydrogens. Kasi yung kulang dito sa condensed structure are hydrogens. Yung tandaan nyo lang, upon adding the hydrogens to complete the whole structure, yung carbon, each of the carbon must have 4 covalent bonds. Yan lang yung tandaan nyo. Ang carbon must have 4 covalent bonds. Therefore, if itong carbon na to, obvious naman, carbon 1, meron na siyang 2 bond. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kulang siya ng 2 hydrogen to make it 4 bonds. Okay, proceed with carbon number 2. Obviously, 4 na yan. Diba? Meron na siyang 4 na bonds. So, wala na siyang kulang na hydrogen. Okay, proceed with carbon 3. Kulang siya ng 2. Okay? tingnan nyo lang yung mga sanga ng per carbon. Itong carbon na to, may sanga na siya na dalawa, so kulang siya ng 2 hydrogen to make it 4. What about this hydrogen? Meron na siyang 1, 2, and dito 3, so kulang siya ng isang hydrogen. Okay? You can have this, tarungan lang ninyo. Ha? Ana, CH. Then, finally, CH2. Okay, so this would be the molecule, the structure for 2-methyl 1,5-hexadiene. This is the condensed structure. Kapag skeletal, yun yung pinakamadali. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is already the skeleton, okay, of carbon parent chain. Asaan yung double bond? Carbon 1 and carbon 5. Ito yung carbon 1, ito yung carbon 5. Asaan yung methyl? Nasa carbon 2. So, mas madali yung skeletal. Ito yung skeletal structure. So, as you can see, if you know already how to name, you can easily draw the structure. Specifically, the skeletal structure. Mas madali yung skeletal structure kasi imaginary na yung hydrogen. So, safe tayo, ma'am, no, kapag imaginary yung hydrogen. So, medyo mas challenging kapag condensed one. Kasi you really have to be careful kung ilan yung hydrogen in that, or per carbon in that chain. So, assignment nyo na tong number 2, 3, and 4 para makapag-practice naman kayo how to convert, no, the chemical names into its chemical structures. May it be condensed, skeletal one. Nomenclature of cycloalkenes. Let us first define cycloalkenes. Okay? Isa din siyang alkene, hydrocarbon. Kumbaga yung functional group is carbon to carbon, double bond din. Okay? A carbon to carbon, double bond. But take note, the alkene hydrocarbon is contained in a closed ring. Okay, so present siya, joined together in a ring. Okay, but take ring of carbon atoms, puro carbon atoms interconnected, but has no aromatic character. I will have a separate segment on aromaticity, no? Naana sa inyong copy sa inyong katong PDF na akong gi-provide. Natay specific topic on aromaticity. Tandaan niyo lang, we can consider a particular ring na aromatic if it follows Haeckel's rule. Okay? If it follows Haeckel's rule, which is 4n plus 2. Sige lang, ato na siyang ma-discuss, no? But for those rings nga atong ma-discuss under alkenes, alkanes, and even alkynes, this has no aromatic character. Kasi in the first place, they do not follow Haeckel's rule. Again ha, ato ni siyang utang ko muna to. We will discuss this sa next chapter ng siguro sa semifinals. Okay? Another thing, kapag aromatic ang isang ring, it must contain conjugated pi bonds. Okay, kailan man taog pi bonds, di ba? Conjugated pi bonds. Okay? So yung pi bonds, present ito kapag may multiple bond na. Example, sa isang double bond, ang isa dyan is sigma, ang pangalawa is a pi bond, which is formed by a side-to-side overlap ng p orbitals. Okay? So pag sinabing conjugated, sa isang ring, example, sa isang ring like a 6-membered ring, meron kang makikitang alternate single, double, single-double, and single-double bond. So, conjugated pi bonds. Okay, alternating ba? Ang single-double, single-double bonds. Okay? But let us focus more lang sa cycloalkenes. Again, isa siyang alkene hydrocarbon contained in a closed ring. So, yung kanina na mga structures nga na name natin, di ba puro yon cycloalkane. Okay, single bond. carbon to carbon in a ring. This time, in a ring, meron ka makikitang double bond. Okay? So usually isa, dalawa. General formula ng cycloalkenes, CnH2n minus 2. So ito yung cycloalkenes, diba? CnH2n. We have cyclopropane, butane, pentane, cyclohexane. Ito yung unsubstituted cycloalkenes. Then we also have this one sa bottom. Ito naman yung cycloalkenes, CnH2n minus 2. Okay? Ito yung general formula nila. We have cyclopropene, cyclobutene, ayan, cyclopentene, and you have cyclohexene. Okay, you know already how to apply this ha. Basta yung from that general formula, ito ba? Itong mga general formula na to. How do you apply that? Yung N dyan, that is equivalent to the number of carbon atom. So pag sinabing cyclopropene, di ba, 3 carbon yan. Substitute mo lang C3, then you complete. Okay, you complete the formula. So pag sinabing cyclopropene, the general formula is C3, then H4. Tama ba? 2 times 3, 6. Minus 2, 4. So, kung cyclopropane naman, that will become C3, then H6. Okay? So, yan yung application ng general formula. So, okay na tayo sa cycloalkenes. Ito yung mga simplest cycloalkenes. Merong presence ng isang double bond in a ring. So, ending in "in" lang po. No? Cyclobutene, cyclopentene, cyclohexene. Okay? Now, sa naming ng mga substituted cycloalkenes, you can apply those steps you learned in naming open chain alkenes. Pag sinabing open chain alkenes, yung ano lang, yung wala sa ring, okay? Or yung carbon to carbon bonds joined together not in a form of ring, okay? Hindi in a cyclic form. So yung mga na-discuss natin kahapon, okay? Including branch chain alkanes, so those are open chain hydrocarbons, okay? So you can apply those important steps in naming alkenes dito sa cycloalkenes. Okay? So first step, name the parent cycloalkene. So yung parent, 6-membered ring, merong double bond. So most probably this is cycloalkene. Kapag 6 yung member na carbon in that ring, cyclohexene. So ganun pa rin yung first step. Parent. Okay? Parent ng cycloalkene. So for this molecule, cyclohexene. For this molecule naman, second molecule, obviously that is cyclopentene. Kasi 5. 5. 5 carbon in a ring with a double bond. So, isa siyang cyclic alkene, cyclopentene. Another cyclopentene, and cyclohexene. Okay, so yan yung first step. Name the parent. Okay. Sige, next. Number the carbon atoms in a ring. Okay. Number the carbon atoms in a ring. Wherein, take note, the double bond must be in between carbon 1 and carbon 2. Ibig sabihin, this time, because there is already a presence of functional group, okay, priority nato number 1 is the functional group. That is why upon numbering the carbon atoms in the parent cycloalkene, you have to choose that carbon in the ring carrying the double bond. Okay, so ibig sabihin, syempre kung sino yung carbon 1 carrying the double bond, ang kasunod doon, 'di ba, is carbon 2. Dapat in between carbon 1 and 2 andoon si double bond. Okay. Now, paano kapag yung carbon 1 na pinili mo, may substituent, okay, samot nga siya ang imuhang i-priority nga carbon 1. Okay? Sige. Say for example, in the first molecule, you have there, isa lang ba ang, by the way, dili ka mo diretso dahil sa substituent ha, double bond ka agad. So hanapin mo yung double bond. So nakita mo na yung double bond. Now between this carbon and this carbon carrying the double bond, isa sa carbon has a branch. So siya yung much more priority. Siya yung carbon 1 dito. Then tuyo ka carbon 2. Basta make sure lang yun when you number the carbon atoms in a ring of cycloalkene, in between carbon 1 and 2 ang double bond. That is how you number the carbon atoms. Okay? And this is very technical, no? Technical na siya upon citing the name of that cycloalkene. When you name cycloalkene, take note, i-highlight ninyo, with only one double bond. In naming cycloalkene with only one double bond, yung mismong position, yung location ng double bond is not anymore written. Nakuha ninyo? Kung i-compare ninyo sa yung mga open chain alkenes kahapon, I always emphasize na whenever you write the parent of that alkene, we always provide location kung saan yung double bond. Tama? Naalala? Okay. Now, kapag cycloalkenes na, and isa lang yung double bond in that cycloalkene, never write the location or the position of the double bond. Why? Because considered na siya always nga kapag isa lang yung double bond in a ring, always siya nasa carbon 1 and 2. Okay? That's the reason bakit hindi mo na kailangang i-write pa na 1 cyclopentene, 1 cyclohexene. Yung 1 ba na nasa carbon 1 yung double bond. No, never write that ha upon citing the name. Kasi automatic. No? Automatic nga nasa carbon 1 ang double bond ana if isa lang yung double bond sa cycloalkene. Okay? So I hope nakuha yung points to remember. Okay? Upon comparing the steps in naming alkene versus that of cycloalkene. Kapag open chain alkene, yung kahapon, you really have to locate kasi open chain eh. 'Di ba? Paiba-iba yung location ng double bond. Whereas, kapag cyclic, yung step number 2, in numbering, automatic naman na yung mismong double bond dapat makikita sa carbon 1 and 2. Okay? So, diretso na. Okay? Maiisip yan agad. The moment you read the name of that cycloalkene containing one double bond, automatic, no, naana siya sa carbon 1. Between carbon 1 and 2 ang double bond. Okay? Therefore, when you name this, yung first molecule, this will become 1-methyl. So, nasa carbon 1, methyl. Identify the substituent. 1-methyl, then sumpay, cyclohexene. Okay? So, kapag pabaliktad, ito lang yung example, pabaliktad, pinadraw kayo ng structure ng 1-methyl cyclohexene. Diba? You start with cyclohexane with a double bond. So, ikaw man magbuot sa imuhang carbon 1 and 2. So, say for example, dito ko nilagay yung double bond. So, this would be carbon 1 ko, then carbon 2. Then, in this carbon 1, merong methyl. This is still 1-methyl cyclohexene. Okay? So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng step number 2. Okay? With this technicality, no, na kailangan yung tandaan. Sige. Second molecule. Okay, so this time, pwedeng ito yung carbon 1, then you go to the, you rotate to the right, or ito yung carbon 1, then you rotate to the left. Okay, parehas lang naman, methyl-methyl. As long as ang double bond in between carbon 1 and 2. Okay, so yung sagot dito is 1,2 dimethyl. Dalawa yung methyl present in cyclopentene. Okay, next. Manang next ani. Oops, okay. This one. Okay. Ito yung next molecule nasa baba. Okay, third molecule. For the first carbon, okay, obviously ito, i-compare mo naman itong carbon na to versus on the right side, walang substituent itong carbon on the right side, no? Walang substituent. So ito yung carbon 1, then ayaw pa ilad. Ayaw pa ilad nga, uy, dito na carbon merong substituent. No. Take note of the step number 2. Okay, when you number the carbon atoms in the ring, double bond must be in between carbon 1 and carbon 2. So automatic, ito yung carbon 2. Okay, bahalag na sa duol kasi ang priority gani, functional group yung mauunang priority. Okay, bago yung mga substituents. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so yung name dito would be 1-bromo, then 5,5-dimethyl cyclopentene. Okay, so yan yung points to remember nyo ha. Next. The same ani, no? Molecule number 4. Okay? So, I know, new idea good kani ang number 1. Pero some of you, naasiguro mailad, kanida yun ilang number 2. Again, please, avoid that ha. Basta gani ang molecule na anay functional group ang i-priority. So, ito yung carbon 2. Okay, para pasok in between carbon 1 and 2 ang double bond. 3, 4, and this is 5. Then you can name 1,5-dimethyl cyclopentene. Sana lang. Okay, next. Ito, you just compare alphabetical na dahil na order. Diba? So, bromo comes first, bago methyl. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So, yung name dito is 1-bromo, 2-methyl, cyclohexene. Sige, any question on this slide? Wala?
None.
Okay, none. Okay, dito tayo sa other case. Kasi hindi naman all the time, isa lang yung double bond sa cycloalkene. The same goes with the open chain alkane, di ba? Alkene. Di ba kahapon, I have provided you examples ng alkenes na merong 2 bonds, dienes, 3 bonds, trienes. Tama? So, meron din tayong mga cycloalkenes containing more than 1 double bond. So, if that is the case, ito yung i-take note nyo. If more than 1 double bond is present in cycloalkene, ganun pa rin, use multiplier prefixes. Di, tri, and so forth, which is added again before the suffix in. Okay? Then still follow the katong English grammar na sinabi ko upon adding suffix, beginning with consonants. Di ba? Ito yung mga suffix na ngayon kapag more than 1 double bond. Diene, trienes, tetraenes. Okay? So, starts with consonants ang mga suffixes ngayon. Dapat upon adding that suffixes to the root parent name, yung root parent name must be added with a combining vowel. Okay? So, example, 5, yung carbon present in the parent chain. So, diba, that is cyclopent. Okay? So, you add letter A, cyclopentadiene. So, the same rules, no, sa naming alkanes kahapon. Sumpay na siya, ha? Diene. So, nga na. And, take note, since more than 1 na yung present na double bond, indicate now the location, no? Assign location for each double bonds. Kaya syempre, duha naman, Kung isa, okay lang, kay automatic na siya sa carbon 1 and 2. Dalawa naman, okay, or tatlo. So we have to find out asaan yung pangatlong double bond in that ring. Okay, that is why, example, kung dienes, nasa carbon 1, then yung isa nasa carbon 3. So you have to write the location of the double bonds kung asaan sila para malocate natin, no? Sige. Say for example, okay, in this molecule, di ba, a cyclohexene, particularly cyclohexa di-in na to, no? From cyclohexene, di ba? Kung gikan dire hex then in, siyempre mag-add man ta og multiplier prefix na di kasi dalawa, no? Dalawa yung double bond. And upon adding this suffix starting with or beginning with a consonant, dapat yung preceding letter niya is a vowel. That is why nag-add ka ng letter A dyan. Okay? Sige, asaan yung dalawang double bond? So, no problem with the first. Okay? Kasi automatic, yan yung nasa between carbon 1 and carbon 2. Tama? Then tuyo ka, asa yun mas malapit. Okay? So you have to choose the point of attachment as carbon 1. Then upon rotating, okay, you can locate the nearest possible location of the second double bond. Okay? So kung ito yung carbon 1 ko, 2, 3, pang-apat na carbon, meron ka ng double bond ulit. Okay? Kung pabaliktad din, try na to. Kay basing lahi po da nga itong makuha, no? So, ito yung carbon 1 ko, then 2, 3, parehas lang, no? At carbon 4, meron na ding double bond. So, the same lang. The same lang. So, either way lang, sorry. Okay, so the name of this molecule would be 1, 4. Okay? 1, 4, sorry. Hexadiene. Okay? Wala lagi. Ulahin na nako ang iyahang nara. Okay? 1,4-hexadiene. Okay? Ulahi akong animation, no? Sige. Let's have this molecule. Okay, diretso na taan eh. So the parent is cycloheptadiene. So okay na yung parent, no? Paano yung bakit naging heptadiene? Kasi nga, dalawa yung double bond in a ring of a 7-membered ring. 7. Okay, kaya hepta dyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so asaan yung double bonds? Okay, so you have to choose the point of attachment as carbon 1. Pwede trial sa 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if yan yung numbering ko, I'll have 1 as the first location and 4. Okay? And I think mauna siya ang pinaka best possible positions of the double bonds. Okay? Okay, so you have 1, 4 cycloheptadiene. Okay? Eh, kung diri imuhang kani, color green daw ta. If ito yung carbon 1 mo, so pabaliktad ka, ito yung carbon 1, then ito yung 2, sobrang layo. For carbon 5 pa ang next, no? Next nga, double bond. So make sure nga when you find when you assign, no, location, position sa double bond, lowest possible number gid ang ma-receive nga assignments sa substituents or sa mismong functional group. Okay? Sige, direta sa na ay substituent. Okay, so obviously, ito yung carbon 1 natin, yung may substituent. Then you rotate, this would be carbon 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in naming, we have to cite, di ba, first the substituent. So we have 1 ethyl, then location agad ng double bonds na sa carbon 1 and carbon 4. So that becomes 1-ethyl, 1,4 cyclohexadiene. So ganun din, hexadiene din yung parent dito. So you can have this as a carbon 1, then 2, 5. So you have 1, 2, 4, and 5 tetramethyl. Okay? Sa carbon 1, 2, 4, and 5, merong methyl. Okay? So tetramethyl, nasaan yung double bond? Nasa carbon 1 tsaka carbon 4. Take note ha, yung location na isa-site nyo for the position ng double bond is yung mismong carbon, yung unang carbon carrying the double bond. Okay? So, ayan. So, 1, 2, then 4, 5 for the location of methyl, then 1, 4 for the location of double bonds. Okay? And then, we also have another hexadiene. Okay? Ayaw mo pa ilad again ha sa substituents. Okay? Ang carbon 1, dapat andun yung, present doon yung double bond. Okay? So in this case, this would be carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Nganong kaniman akong gi-carbon 1. Okay? It is because if this would be my carbon 1, at carbon 3, meron na agad si functional, meron agad another functional group. Okay? In a form of double bond. Di ba priority natin is functional group muna. Okay? So hanapin mo yung location ng mga functional group na pinakamas malapit sila. Okay? So 1 and 3 for the location of double bonds. Okay? Then 5 for the location of bromine. Okay? Ma'am, pwede ba other way around? Kani ang akong carbon 1. Sige, let's have kulay black. Kani nga akong gitrace nga kulay black. This would be carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sobrang layo na ngayon ng bromo. Diba? If that will be your numbering. Okay? So with the initial, yung pinakaunang numbering natin, bromo will receive a 5 position, no? Nasya sa 5th carbon. So 5 bromo, 1, 3 cyclohexadiene. Okay? Sige, any question for this slide? Wala? Sige. Oh, ito naman, you just have to familiarize this. Okay? I want you to familiarize this 4 common alkenes kung saan meron silang non-IUPAC names which is widely accepted sa chemistry community. Okay? So yung mga nasa taas nila, ito yung mga common names nila. So ito lang yung 4. Common alkenes kung saan when they are usually used sa chemistry references, organic chemistry, mas ginagamit pa yung mga common names nila, yung mga non-IUPAC names nila ba. Okay? So which is accepted naman sa, ito lang yung 4 ha na i-familiarize nyo. Carbon to carbon, double bond, di ba? Supposedly, that is ethene. Systematic way, i-follow na to. Kung atong i-follow ba, ang IUPAC system, di ba? This is carbon 1, carbon 2, okay? So, dalawa lang naman yung carbon. Okay, so automatic, naman yun na sa carbon 1 ang double bond. Kasi dalawa lang yung carbon in that open chain alkene. So, that is ethene. Okay? Ito naman, propene. Okay? 2, 3. Or you can have 1 propene. Parehas lang. Pero bakit walang location dito? Kasi nga, this is a simplest alkene. Kung imuha siyang ibaylo, kani nga double bond, ako siya erase. What if di rin ako siya ibutang? It is still the same orientation. Naa sa terminal, no? Terminal carbons ang location ng double bond. Okay, so if that is the case, it is okay not to state the location. Pero kapag longer na, 4 na yung carbon, 5 na yung carbon in an open chain, that's the time you really have to locate asan yung double bond. Okay? So ito yung mga simplest alkene, no? Ethene, propene, another. This is commonly known as propylene. Okay, propylene. Sige. Ito naman, uh, kung imuha siyang i-name systematic way, so this would be carbon 1, 2, or pataas ka, carbon 3. That is why, yung na-enclose sa parenthesis, di ba, 2-methyl propene. Or you can have 2-methyl, 1-propene dyan. Okay? So, ito yung common name niya. So, yung point ko lang dito is, merong 4, no? Nga common alkenes kung saan we usually use their non-IUPAC names. Kaya basin ba ma-encounter ninyo often, so at least you're familiar nga, isobutylene, that is 2-methyl propene. Or the other way around, kapag 2-methyl propene, that is also known as isobutylene. Okay? And we have this 4-carbon chain, 3, 4. For the last example na molecule. Okay? So at carbon 2, merong methyl, then carbon 1 and carbon 3, andoon yung double bonds. Kaya butadiene. So this is also commonly known as isoprene. So yan lang yung, sorry. Noon sa mani. Dita kabalo gamit ani oy. Asa akong tuplokon ani class? X nara. So ayan. So na-erase ang akong ipang sulat. Sige. So okay na 'yon. Okay, natapos naman natin yung slide na to. So yung purpose ko lang dito is for you to familiarize the non-IUPAC names of these common alkenes. Okay? Sige, dito tayo sa next slide. You might encounter as well mga alkenes, but this time, alkenes as branch, alkenes as substituents. Example, diba, as you can see, the substituent contains a double bond. Okay, a cyclohexane, containing an alkyl group, okay, in a form of alkene. Okay? So, yung point ko naman dito sa slide na to, I want you to familiarize this 4 alkenes na pwedeng maging substituent. Okay? So, ito yung point of attachment niya. Carbon to carbon, double bond. Okay? Then, it is attached to a parent cycloalkane, example, cyclohexane. Ang tawag dito is vinyl. Okay? Okay? Just take note of the names of these substituents. You have there vinyl, ito naman 2-propenyl or allyl. Okay. Then we also have this one, double bond attachment to the parent cycloalkene. Okay, you have methylene. Ito yung methylene. Kaya yung whole name is methylene cyclohexane. Yung mga naka-enclose sa parentheses, yun yung buong name ng molecule. Itong mga nasa taas, okay, yan yung name ng naka-enclose na kulay red. Okay, itong mga naka-enclose na kulay red. Okay, so application lang dayon ang naka-enclose sa parentheses. Okay, yan yung 4 naman na mga common alkenes that is used as substituents. Okay, so basing maka-encounter mo, maghatad ko sa exam, makakita mo, example, ring chain. Okay? By the way, kani nga mga substituents, sa ring rani siya ha? Sa ring rani sila mo attach. Okay? Example, cyclopentane, yung parent, tapos nakakita kayo ng double bond, then CH2. So ito yun, no? And ano yung pangalan niyan? Methylene. So, ibig sabihin, the name would be methylene cyclopentane. Okay, yan lang yung purpose ko why I presented this. Kasi again, you might as well encounter some alkenes, ito yung mga common, no? Some alkenes as substituents naman. Okay, hindi sila yung parent, but as substituents. Sige. Okay, question for these slides. Okay, wala. Sige, napatay. 13. No? 13 seconds, minutes. Okay, 13 minutes. Okay, sige, let's continue. Ito yung last topic natin for midterm, no? Nomenclature of alkynes. Okay? Sige. Okay, for alkynes, let me define first, no? Yung alkyne. So, based on its functional group, okay, based on its functional group, it has a carbon-to-carbon triple bond. Okay, yan yung functional group ng alkynes. Carbon-to-carbon, triple bond. Okay, and because of the presence of multiple bond, this is considered as unsaturated hydrocarbon. Okay, so unsaturated hydrocarbon siya. And take note this, compared to alkenes, lesser, no? Lesser ang mga ma-encounter nato nga molecule nga alkynes. Okay? Much more alkenes nga mga molecules ang atong gaka-encounter in chemistry nga mga references. Okay? So, konti lang. Even sa laboratory, konti lang yung mga alkynes natin na available. Okay? So, more on alkenes and alkanes nga hydrocarbon. So, this would be the general formula of alkynes, CnH2n minus 2. Okay? Then, the same, no? The same, sino yung kaparehas na niya na general formula sa cyclic hydrocarbons?
Cycloalkenes.
Very good. So, same, no? Equal general formula with cycloalkenes. Okay? Only that, ang cycloalkenes, you have a carbon-to-carbon chain joined together in a closed ring. Whereas, ang alkyne, it is an open chain of hydrocarbon containing a triple bond. Okay? So, kumbaga, isomers sila. Okay? Yung alkynes with, merong mga isomers na alkynes with cycloalkenes. Okay? Sige. Sige, let's proceed to the steps. Okay? Steps in naming alkynes. Okay? Alkynes rather. Okay, so number 1, ulit, find and name the parent hydrocarbon, but this time, that parent carbon chain must contain the triple bond. Okay, it must contain the triple bond. So, halos parehas lang, no, nga rules yung gagamitin natin for naming alkynes to that of alkenes. Ang difference lang is sa suffix. Kasi 'di ba, alkynes man siya, iba yung functional group present, triple bond. So we have to change the suffix, okay? Na relatable to alkynes, and that is the suffix "-ine". Again, that is to identify that the functional group in that molecule is alkyne. Okay? Next. When you number the carbon atoms, begin at the end kung saan malapit yung triple bond. Diba? The same with alkenes. When we number the carbon atoms sa alkenes, we begin at the end kung saan malapit yung double bond. So, ito lang. So, the same rule. Okay? You lift, no, the rules you've learned sa alkenes, yung open chain alkenes, yung kahapon na na-discuss natin. Slight difference lang is yung sa suffix na part. Okay? Kapag triple bond yung present, then you add the suffix "-ine". Okay? But the rest, the same rules. Okay? Katulad nito, this would be carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we locate. Diba? Kung nasaan yung triple bond, syempre, lagyan natin ng location. Asaan yung triple bond? Carbon 2. Kaya 2, heptine. Okay? Another. In this case, this would be carbon 1, 2, 3. Okay? Take note ha, priority natin, functional group. 4, 5, 6, 7. Kaya yung parent dito is 3 heptine. Okay? Parent pa ha? Parent ni siya. Parent pa ni siya, 3 heptine. Okay? Then this parent chain, it has a branch at carbon 5. That is why you have 5,5-dimethyl-3 heptine. Ulit ha, itong 3 dito, location ng triple bond. Location ng triple bond. Okay? Next, you have this carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? Or you can have this one, 6, 7. Parehas lang na siya. Okay? Sorry. Ayan. Okay? So the parent would be 3. 3 heptine ulit. Okay? 3 heptine ulit na may branches at carbon 5. Ano yung mga branches at carbon 5? We have methyl and an ethyl. Okay, so 5-ethyl, una yung ethyl, followed by methyl, then 2. That is not 2, 3 ni siya ha, 3 heptine. Okay? Ito yung other points to remember. Letter A, compounds with more than one triple bond. So magiging diines, triines, and so forth. Okay? So, katulad nito, carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So, we have the triple bond present at carbon 1 and at carbon 7. Again, you have a triple bond present at carbon 1 and carbon 7. That makes it diines. Diines. Do we have to locate or give a locant for this triple bonds? Yes. So that is why ang parent is 1, 7, okay, octa, diine. No, the same lang gid ang rules, di ba? Diine, triine starts with a consonant. So upon adding that suffix to the root name ng parent, ayaw kalimti ang vowel, letter A. Okay, the combining vowel. Sige, next. This one. Carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, again, octa, diine, octadiene, asan yung dalawang triple bond? Carbon 1 and carbon 3. Okay? So, 1, 3 octadiene. Meron bang substituent? Yes, present at carbon 7. Okay, that's why 7-methyl octa diene. Okay, let's have the second points to remember. If you encounter compounds containing both, take note, isang compound lang, isang molecule, but it contains both a triple and a double bond. Now, that compound is called N-ines. N-ines. N for a double bond, presence of double bond. Ines for triple bond. So, not the other way around ha. Hindi po ine, then ends. Okay? Ine ends. Okay? Na-purpose, bakit N-ines ang tawag? Okay? Na-purpose, bakit N-ines ang tawag? Okay, siguro somehow some of you na anay idea nga nung N-ines. Okay, it has something to do with location or indicating position of the double bond and the triple bond. Take note, in numbering N9 chain, ibig sabihin isang molecule, merong double bond tapos triple bond. Okay, if that is the case, when you number, start at the end, nearer the first multiple bond. Okay? Whether it is a double bond ba or a triple bond. Okay? So meaning kapag numbering na, step 2, numbering the chain, the parent chain containing the double bond and the triple bond, you have to find that terminal carbon kung saan mas malapit yung multiple bond. Kahit anong klaseng multiple bond ba yan. Could it be double bond or triple bond? Okay? So say for example, in this case, yung nasa left, pinaka-left na carbon, di ba, meron na siya agad double bond, isang multiple bond. On this side, wala. Therefore, this would be carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, this is an N-ine. Unsay purpose anang N-ine? Recall na kapag double bond sa alkenes, we provide location sa double bond. The same thing with alkyne. Ang triple bond, we indicate location, nasaan yung triple bond. Okay? Therefore, yung tanong, saan natin ilalagay yung location ng double bond, yung location ng triple bond. Okay? So let's start with the parent first. 7. Kapag 7, di ba, from heptane, okay, anong klaseng molecule na nga ito? N-ine. So, N-ine. Okay, N-ine. Okay, ito yun, N-ine. Diba? Isa siyang N-ine. Kasi nga, meron siyang double bond, meron siyang triple bond. So, parent lang sa tatong tagsa-tagsaon. Okay? Basta you know, this is heptenine or heptenine. Depende sa inyo, sa inyong pagbasa. Heptenine. Okay? Now, we have to locate asan itong triple bond. Asaan itong double bond. Yung N, nasaan yung ine. Okay. Before the word heptenine, you will indicate there the position first of the double bond. Okay? Kasi nga N9, so you have to indicate first the position of the N, the in, no? The in. So dito mo natin ilalagay yung position ng double bond. Asaan yung double bond in this molecule? Nasa carbon 1. Ma'am, what about the triple bond? Okay? Nasaan, saan natin ilalagay yung triple bond? Bago yung suffix na ine. So, magiging 1 hepten dash location ng triple bond 3 ine. Okay? N9 yan. Okay? This would be the complete name of the parent. Okay? But since this molecule has no substituent, ito yung magiging final name niya. Nakuha? Isa siyang N9 chain kasi meron siyang double bond and triple bond. No problem with the numbering. Kasi we always begin at the end kung saan malapit yung first multiple bond. So nakuha yon. Okay? So this would be carbon 1, 2, 3. Yung challenge dito is yung naming na. Okay? You name the parent. Okay? Sayo na kung double bond kasi heptene. Okay? But again, this is already an N9. So you end the suffix with an N9. Okay? Heptenine. Okay? But again, you have a double bond there and a triple bond. A double bond must have a location. A triple bond must also have a location. So take note, location ng double bond before the name, the whole name, the root name. No? Hept. Okay, hepten. Then bago yung suffix na ine, doon natin ilagay yung location ng triple bond. Okay? Sige, question. Question sa writing ng parent for N9. Wala. Okay. Sige. Since wala, okay. So ito yung final answer. So parehas lang. 1 hepten. So ako siyang gi-highlight. Isa siyang N9. 3 location ng triple bond. 1 location ng double bond. Okay. Next. Itong sample na to. So ganun lang din. Find the parent. Find the parent chain na nandun yung double bond and yung triple bond. So this would be carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? Bakit dito ako nagsimula? On the right side. Bakit ito yung carbon 1 ko? Because pagdating sa carbon 2, ando na yung multiple bond. Okay? So take note ulit, basta naanay functional group, may double bond, may triple bond, always prioritize them. Okay? Sige. So you have here, the parent would be heptenine pa rin. Tama? Heptenine pa rin. Heptenine. Okay? But the location this time of the double bond, okay, nasa carbon 2. So 2-hepten. 2-hepten. Location ng triple bond, carbon 4. So 4-ine. That would be the parent. 2-hepten, 4-ine. Ayan. 2-hepten, 4-ine. But the complete name of the molecule, take note of the branches. Merong branch sa carbon 6. Dalawang methyl attached on carbon 6 that becomes 6,6 dimethyl 2-hepten 4-ine. So when you name good a molecule, you really start with the parent. You really have to follow, no, the steps. Di ka pwede mag-una diretso sa substituent. Okay, diretso ka identify substituent. No, you follow the step good. Kay parent pa lang daan nasayop na ka, okay, the following steps in numbering, identifying the location ng substituent, mali na. So paning kamuti nga sakto imong parent, sakto imong pagka-number sa chain, okay, carbon chain, then you can now easily identify nasaan yung double bond, nasaan yung triple bond, nasaan yung substituents. Okay. Next, let us have this example. Okay. So obviously, ito yung carbon 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hanggang dito lang. Okay? Kasi Br, bromine, is not, is a substituent in this case. No? Again, the parent is only a carbon chain. Ang parent is only carbon chain. Okay? So, again, this is heptenine. No? Heptenine ulit. Nasaan yung double bond? Nasa carbon 4. Okay? So, this becomes, edit na lang, 4-hepten. Location of triple bond, carbon 2, 2-ine. What are the substituents? 7-bromo, 4-methyl. So the name is 7-bromo, 4-methyl, 4-hepten, 2-ine. Okay? So, ana lang. Ito yung other case na dapat yung i-take note. When there is a choice in numbering, sa mismong parent chain, the double bond must receive lower numbers than triple bond. So, ano yung halimbawa dito? Ito yung example. Diba kung imong i-compare, sorry, kadali lang nag-vlog. Ayan. If you try to compare, the carbon on the left side, meron na agad multiple bond in a form of triple bond. On the right side, if ito yung carbon 1 mo, meron ulit multiple bond na agad, okay, in a form of double bond. Diba? Ito yung case, second case. Okay? When there is already a choice, no, okay, in numbering, okay, double bond must receive lower number. Ibig sabihin, yung magiging carbon 1 mo is yung carbon 1 na andon yung double bond. Kasi nga, don't forget, N9, mauuna yung double bond. Okay, that's why double bond must receive the lowest number. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So, heptenine ulit. No? So, heptenine, gapon na siya, ma'am. No? Heptenine, double bond, nasa carbon 1, triple bond, nasa carbon 3. So, the parent is 1-hepten, 6-ine. 1-hepten, 6-ine. And there is a substituent at carbon 3. Yan yung parent. And the whole name would be 3-methyl, ayan, 3-methyl, then 1-heptane 6-ine. This is another example. Erase ko muna. So you have here, for this example, parehas lang, double bond yung mga nasa terminal carbon. Okay, in this terminal carbon, double bond. In this terminal carbon as well, it also carries a double bond. What is your next priority? You have the, aside sa functional group, yes, functional group yung next nga priority. Diba? N9 man siya. So, hanapin nyo, asan mas malapit yung triple bond. If this would be carbon 1, 2, 3, pagka carbon 4, ayun na yung, nandun na yung triple bond. What about if dito yung carbon 1, 2, 3, 4? The same lang. Okay? So, dili sila magkompetensya ani nga part. Pero, since if you try to check the molecule at on the left side, okay, merong methyl, okay, na malapit sa carbon na to. Therefore, ito yung magiging final numbering mo. Carbon 1, 2, and so forth. 6, 7, 8. Okay? Parehas yung distance ng double bond, which is dapat siya yung magre-receive ng lower number than the triple bond. Okay, so no problem. The same ang terminal carbon carrying a double bond. So next nimo nga priority si triple bond. Same lang gihapon ang location, equal distant lang gihapon ang triple bond. That's the time proceed na dayon ka sa substituent. So ingana ang priority nga order, priority to priority, then to least na priority. Okay, so the name of the parent here would be 1 and 7 octa-diene. Nakuha? Bakit octa-diene? Hindi octane? Okay? Bakit octa-diene? Kasi dalawa yung double bond sa N-ine. Isa siyang di-N-ine. Dalawa yung double bond. So you really have to be careful, okay, in using multiplier prefixes, in identifying what is that molecule. N-ine ba? Alkene lang ba yan? Alkyne ba yan? Okay? And careful on the location, no, position of the functional groups. Okay, so yan, 1,7 is for the position of the two double bonds, okay, di-ine, then yung 4 dyan, location ng triple bond. And the name, final name, would be 3-methyl 1,7 octadiene 4-ine.